What episode has this been?
We're on 13.
Episode 13 of the Real Ones podcast. Ironically, it's Friday the 13th.
Is it really?
Actually,
I
yeah.
didn't even know that.
Oh my God, who do we got on today, DP?
Scary. We got on Nick Bianco.
Nick Bianco.
Lifelong friend of mine. Known him since I was, I don't know, first grade maybe.
That's crazy that you guys are in kind of like a similar career. Not necessarily you guys do the same thing, but you guys are in cameras, in creating content.
Dude, you know what's crazy?
What?
He just got here. But yeah, Nick, we played lacrosse together in high school, and then
Relax, bro.
honestly, we really didn't talk to each other much after high school, but we'd been keeping in touch here and there on social media. And I just saw him doing amazing things in the video production industry.
Yeah, he has a wide variety, a big catalog of different jobs he's worked on.
Big catalog from Love and Hip Hop to work with Complex to a Miss America.
Yeah, been on music video sets, everything.
Yeah, he's really done it all, and he's gonna be a perfect person to talk to. He's really done grip work, he's done PA work, he's done sound work, and then cam up and production and everything. He's
100.
He's really done it all. But I'm gonna go get the man right now.
No, I guess it's just me by myself, Ben. Keep it rolling. This fit too crazy? Let me know, people. Is this fit too much for the Real Ones pod? I normally try not to spice it up this much. I got the backwards hat, glasses, watch, rolled denim jacket, tank top combo.
Yes, sir. But
Yes, sir. Back.
we already rolling. Nick
rolling.
is here. The man is here. So
Without further ado,
let's bring him on.
he hasn't even taken off his jacket yet. Let him settle in a second.
Nah,
team.
dude, nah.
He said, "You know what's going on,
You
brother
wanna
man."
bring over the waters? Dude, yes, sir. On camera dap up. Always
You know who
need it.
Nicoletti is?
Yeah.
You kind of look like Nicoletti. You can settle up.
Yeah.
That's hella funny.
Damn. Oh, thank you.
So it's tradition on our show
Oh yeah.
to chug a water
Oh really? Before?
beforehand.
Yeah.
We like to
Drink,
hydrate.
drink as much as you like.
We don't take life too serious.
I hear you. Yeah. This is right on the shirt.
Cheers, bro.
That's a sick shirt.
Cheers.
Cheers, bro. Oh, refreshing.
TB doesn't. He never kills the whole water.
Never.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say you did, but he didn't.
No, always have a nice
He's got an Evian.
nice bottle of Evian
Fancy
coffee.
guy. Fancy guy.
Yes, sir. Dude, I like the kicks.
Oh, I like the kicks. I like
Thank
the
you,
kicks.
thank you.
What kind of kicks are those?
Nike SB Jordan 1s. Oh shit.
Benny, you see these?
I do.
Yeah, Ben.
Benny's got.
Ben's got,
Oh.
Ben's got competition.
Not the Derek Costins, the
Are they not?
no, they're you know the dude, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. The guy who has the painted Nike SB Jordan 1 highs.
Nigel Sylvester?
No, wait, I gotta look this up. Oh.
Dude.
I don't know my phone.
Benny,
I'll do
look
that.
it up.
But,
Yeah, Benny, get it up on
It's
stock.
yeah, I forget his name, but he designed these and they tear away. This one's a Royal and this one's a UNC.
Yeah.
Oh shit, they're different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
slightly different.
That's good.
those are sick. Dude, so how you been? It's been
Chilling, yeah.
been so long. Last time I saw you was
High school, probably, right? Or no? At,
well,
like,
I saw you at
something-
like one of like the marches that we had in town,
Yeah. Oh yeah. In
yeah.
2020.
and that was like the
Yes.
first time we even talked since high school. I feel
Yeah.
like, but we'd always been keeping up with each other on social
Of course,
media and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. But it's crazy, dude. Like I feel like it's been like almost coming up on 10 years soon
Well, yeah,
that we've
since
been
high
out of
school,
high.
yeah.
Yeah, dude, we graduated 2014, so and I've known this dude since.
Like first grade, probably.
That's
second
what I
grade.
said.
How'd you guys
I
meet in
said-
first grade?
Like class, probably, right?
Yeah, just yeah.
It's chopping it up.
Just
Like we went to the
Icebreakers.
same school, yeah, like
Yeah.
forever.
Always went to the same school.
Yeah, I remember like going to your. I like wanted to say this, but like going to this dude's birthday party, like hitting Pizza Hut, and then
Yo.
Yeah, he went to the.
We-
like when we were in like
No, it was
second
like
grade,
we were
probably,
planning
yeah.
this thing out during school for so long.
Yeah.
We
And I
went
remember
to
we saw Chicken Little. Like
yeah. We did another year where we saw
For your birthday.
bench warmers.
Yes, I
we
remember
did
that.
bench for my birthday. I loved
Big
like,
movie
this,
guy.
This was,
Pizza.
like, we were like so young, probably like 8
yeah.
years old.
Pizza Hut and movies.
Damn, that's fire.
You can't go wrong, dude. So since high school, did you go to school for
For communication, radio and television communication.
radio and television communication?
What about you guys?
I went to school for marketing.
Dope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, I just went to Middlesex.
Yeah.
and just found my way after that.
Doesn't matter.
After Middlesex, I was like, dude, I still don't know what the fuck I
Yeah.
want to do. And then luckily, I just picked up a camera.
But before we get started, like, can you tell the people
Oh,
a little
yeah.
bit about like what your background is, what kind of sets you're working on,
Yeah.
and what you're doing?
My name's Nick Bianco. I work on a lot of like TV sets, production sets. I was just working for Complex for the past year as a production coordinator, camera operator, producer.
Damn, jack of all trades.
Yeah. Just started out in the industry as like a PA and been working my way up still, and now just freelancing and looking for new opportunities.
Yeah, dude, your catalog of work is like insane.
Yeah, last year was like a crazy year.
Yeah.
Shout out to Complex.
Shout
and
out
all my
Complex,
coworkers.
dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like,
Yeah, it was
we used to
nuts.
watch Complex. We used to
Still
like
watch Complex.
Yeah,
It was like, yeah. Still to this day, like I can't believe like you get paid to be there. Like I would straight up show up for free if someone was like, "Yo, can you meet me here and just film
Yeah.
this really quick?" Like probably, like realistically,
Yeah,
I'd probably do it for free.
Probably.
Yeah, that it's just nuts. I went to school at a small ass school called Centenary University in Hackettstown, New Jersey. Studied radio and television communication, and I would say the thing that got me into this, or like knowing that I wanted to do this, was in our high school. Thomas and I went to South Brunswick High School. We had this program called VTN, and it's called Viking Television Network or something like that. But like we had a full-blown TV studio in our high school.
Yeah.
And I took the class all 4 years, and like for 3 years, you got to just do stuff in the studio. And I was like, wow, like this is the only class I feel like I'm good at. I should just like do this in college. And I remember the teacher, Mr. Ryman, was like, yeah, you should major in radio and TV communications or like film. And I was like, all right, like that sounds
That's
good.
crazy,
Yeah.
dude. I wish I went along with
the
you,
VTN.
and because I just did the first year.
Yeah, but like I know like even one of the things that really got me inspired was like in 10th grade when I was in one of the classes, someone who's a production assistant from South Brunswick, she worked on like Jersey Shore, and she came in to talk to our class. And I remember like at the time that was like the biggest reality TV show, and I was just like,
Oh.
damn, like that sounds like such a cool job. Like how do I get to do that? And then when I was in college, I was a teacher's assistant and like video assistant, just like filmed everything on campus, took pictures of everything on campus with my professor, Boris G. He's the man. He made me realize that I was like talented and like could have a career off of, you know, doing that if I just like worked hard at it. And I'd say he's the one who like really like lit the fire and made me realize that like actually working on a TV set is possible. And when you're like that age, you have no idea, like, you know, you're filming whatever, like you're doing like school projects, filming your homie skateboard, taking pictures
Yeah,
of whatever.
literally.
Yeah,
And then you're
basically.
like, how does this turn into like being on Top Chef?
Yeah.
And then like 2 years later, it's like you're in Italy on the set of Top Chef. It's like 2:00 in the morning, pouring rain, and like you get pulled over by the police, and you're just like, damn, like 2 years ago I was just sitting
Time
in
really
class,
flies,
like,
man.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just nuts how that works.
So, what was your first job out of college?
My first like real TV job was actually when I was in college. I worked on TRL late night
way.
at the Viacom headquarters, 1515 Broadway.
Yeah.
And I was a PA. And literally all I did was pick up coffee from this Marriott and just get like mad jugs of coffee in the morning, bring them upstairs, and make sure like all the crafty is like a fancy word for snacks in case you don't know. Just make sure all the crafty and coffee is all set up, and then like head upstairs to the office, like make photocopies, do whatever. Yeah, it was cool. It was just like, if you're not from the tri-state area, like going to New York is like such a tourist thing. But then when you have like something to do while you're there, it's like it feels like you're on a mission.
Dude, that is the city,
Yeah.
basically. Like whenever we have to go into the
We
city,
want to get in and out.
Yeah, that's why I'm
but
happy I live in
it
Jersey
feels
City
like
now.
it feels like a full-on mission.
Yeah, like
I feel
half
the day
your battle
pri-
is commuting.
Yeah, like the day prior, we're like mentally preparing. Like, all right, we're gonna do this and this. We're trying to make it so easy for ourselves, but then
Yeah.
it still just feels like a long journey. It's like Buddy when he went to the city.
Basically. So how long have you been like from being a production assistant to kind of like where you are now? How many
Yeah.
production assistant jobs, like those kind of like entry level jobs, did you do until you started seeing?
Oh,
like,
a
progress?
ton.
A ton.
Yeah, like so everybody's journey is different. Like when you get onto a real set like that, like you could like come out of college being like a DGA trainee, and you're already like with the
Yeah.
like first assistant directors and second ADs like in their unit, and you're set up for like a pretty good future. But like I said, you could be like taking out trash for like years and driving people around, and like that's like just doing small stuff on set, and that's what I was doing. When school ended, shout out to my homie Amir from school. He couldn't make it to day play on Ink Master, and he recommended me, and I went, and it was for like a field shoot. We were in like Irving, New Jersey, at this like vintage wood store. And, you know, just came in, just busted my ass that day. And then they're like, yo, you available for the next week? And then that led to just like being on the whole run of the show, the rest of the season. So that was my first time like feeling like I was a part of like a season of a show, and that was crazy. But it was great, like the camaraderie. Like I had like people at that job that taught me so much about being in the industry, because that was the first time I was around like true TV professionals for like a long period of time. And I don't know if anyone knows this, but like the standard workday in TV is 12 hours.
Yeah.
So like you're literally with these people for like more than your family during the week. So it's like you really get close with them and learn a lot from them. And like I was so green, I feel like, when I was on that show. And every day I would just like at lunchtime just be like, hey, what do you do here? Like, what's your title of your position? Because the crazy thing is like, so like when you're a PA at that time, we were making like $187 for a 12-hour shift. But then like you're eating lunch with people that are making like $3,000 a day, but everybody's dressed exactly the same, just literally wearing all black. So like you can't tell like who is who. So once you like get to talking to these people and figure out what they do, and then like when someone's like, do you know who you're just talking to? That's the director of the show. And it's just like, oh, damn. I'm sure you guys know, just like being surrounded by other creative people is so inspiring. And like when you're like working on a TV show that you watched when you were like a kid, and like it's just so crazy just being like, wow, like, I can't believe that's how I just spent my day at work.
Exactly. No, that's such a good way of putting it. Like surrounding yourself with people who are doing something that you want to do.
Yeah, and like, you know, it's crazy.
I mean?
Like everybody has the same interests, and everyone has different interests, and like you hear about it, and you're just like, wow. Like I don't know anyone who has this hobby, or I never met someone who like knows how to like use a synthesizer to like make these crazy radio sounds, and it's cool. When you were doing all those like, you know, bottom level jobs, getting coffee and everything, did you always knew that was going to pay off? Like that was just your journey? So like when you're in that position, you're so expendable, right? Like if you mess up or have a shitty day, or even like if like something unlucky happens, like if you're in a car and it breaks down and like you have talent in your van and now like you're 2 hours late, it's like they're like, even though that's so out of your control, they'd be like, all right, we're not calling this kid back tomorrow. Yeah. So I would say like a mix of luck and just like maintaining a positive attitude, being helpful on set, like using common sense, and then most importantly, just like being proactive and like not being told what to do. So like, for example, like you're doing such minimal tasks on set sometimes where it's like, if you know there's no drinks in the coolers around set, like without someone telling you, just go put more in. Like just go put ice in the coolers. Like if a garbage can is full, just like take the garbage bag out. If a camera operator like sees you busting your ass, taking out garbage all day while they're busting their ass filming, like at lunchtime, they're going to be like, yo, like, what's your story? Like, what do you want to do? And something I like, because people used to ask me on Ink Master all the time. And at that time, I never had a good answer. And I didn't understand that they were like, if I told them like, this is a camera operator, I'm like, I think I want to get into the camera department. What he was going to say is like, oh, like you can come shadow us, like whatever, on your lunch break, or if you want to watch us build the cameras in the morning. And then once like I started realizing stuff like that, like more, it's like if you ask, someone's either just going to say no or be like, oh, I'll show you how to do this really quick, because they got to do it anyway. And one of the first people that did that was this guy. His name's Mike, and he's a jib operator, which is like an insanely specialty position. And like I'm a PA, like he didn't need to talk to me. And I remember we were just chopping it up at breakfast because I was setting up the breakfast, and he was like, you want to like see the jib? And I was like, yeah. And he was showing me all the movements and stuff. That's and like just asking him about like, you know, like he was my dad's age. So I was like, you know, like you clearly made a career out of this. Like what's good? And then just every day, like him saying what up to you, and then just being like, yo, can you help me run this cable? Can you help me do this? And then you go from taking out trash from plugging in SDI cables, and it's like, it's something still so minor, but at least like you're not taking out garbage, you're helping them with the cameras, and just stuff like that. Just like really just being proactive and telling people that you're willing to help and you want to learn. And I would say to people trying to get in the industry, like just work hard and make sure that like when you get those moments to talk to the right people, like express your interests. Because another thing that I never realized too is like most of the people were once like in your shoes, either like they were confused and didn't know what they wanted to do, or they were also just like a PA that was trying to like figure out the industry. So that's the thing, like every freelance job ends, right? So once Ink Master ended, I was like, damn, that was a sick run. I'm never going to do this shit again. Yeah. And then this assistant camera and AC named Jimmy, who same thing, would just like literally get lens caps for him, and he'd be like, can you get me a 24 to 105? And like, you know, just run over, like literally says what it is on the lens, so it's not rocket science, and like grab it for him. And then like he was on Miss America, and he like I feel like what clicks in people's heads when they hit you up as a freelancer is like if you were helping someone out on an old job and they're like, oh damn, I wish this person was here to help me right now, and that's kind of happened with that. And then I was like a control room PA on Miss America, and that was like my third ever job. During the actual shoot day, I was like stationed with this live technician, and he was like, we were chopping it up. He was at, same thing. He was like, what do you do? What's your story? And then I was telling him like how I wanted to get into production management, wanted to get into cameras. Like I just liked so many different things that I was just eager to learn about everything. And then he was telling me, he was like, yeah, like I'm 30, I'm from California. Like they flew me out here to Atlantic City, put me up in like a resort. Like, and I was like, damn, like I'm driving here 2 hours from my parents' crib, and like this dude is making like 5 times what I'm making, and they're paying for everything. It's like, how do I get to that? And I remember he told me, he was like, yo, like it might sound crazy right now, but one day like it'll like you'll get to that point where like they're gonna need you there and do whatever it takes to get you there. And like that's when I was like, okay, like I just gotta keep figuring out like what everyone does on set, so I can be like, damn, like what do people actually need? Like what contributes to the set?
Yeah. Seemed like you had like a good, honestly, like mindset about it all.
Yeah,
like,
no, like, bro, because I mean, this. My pops owns a landscaping company, so before this shit, I was literally
that's the best.
Yeah, like, yo, like shout out to my pops and my uncle, my brother, my cousins.
Yeah.
Like, literally would just cut grass, weed whack, blow leaves, like, and I remember like just sitting on the mower, just being like cutting patterns into grass, like mindless ass work, just like I could imagine myself just like being at like a concert on stage filming something, or like being on a set, but then like in the moment I'm like, damn, like I'm sitting on this fucking mower, like and I just like I feel like realizing like, all right, like I can see myself doing that is what like I was like, all right, I got to get the fuck off this lawnmower, like how am I gonna do that? And then when opportunity knocked, I just like took advantage of it, I guess.
Yeah, that's a big part in visioning. I feel like we were already we were normally visual learners. Like we would hang out, watch lacrosse highlights, go reenact it on the field. Like,
exactly.
We'd always be, and like I said, like it just, and like the hard work, like it translates from the business. Like, literally, just sitting here and talking, like I'm realizing how this shit, like, damn.
No,
like,
exactly. Everything you do in your life, like I played lacrosse in college and everything, and like just like the team aspect, like like this, like a TV set. Like when I worked on Top Chef, we had like 250 people on one shift, like 225 people on one shift. Like, it takes every single person to be doing their job to like give the people the episode that they want to see. Like I'm like a production. I do like production management, field coordinating, production coordinating. And I always like tell people that like the things that I learned when I was like landscaping, like just managing the landscaping crew, like going from location to location, like little things that can go wrong in the day, like it all translates to like when you're managing a crew of 200 people, and now like instead of just having 2 landscaping trucks on the road, you have like 18 trucks full of equipment, and it's like, all right, like we're driving from Los Angeles to Big Bear, and all these have to touch down like at the same time. It's like, and we have whatever 160 crew members that need to get there. It's like, where, like, how do we do it?
It's all communication.
Exactly.
100%. Have you ever been on set? Because I was recently on set for like a movie production, and I was a set photographer.
Yeah.
And everyone just seemed like they had to stick up their ass. Have you ever been on a set where it was like high hostility? Obviously, there's a lot to lose, right? And that's
well, I mean, like we've been on big, like we've had our own big commercial shoots. When we were in Miami, like, and we were dealing with 30 member cast, but that was like, our
production.
How long were you with them for? You with them for like a
day?
So
like essentially a producer hit me up, was like, hey, like I saw your work. Our set photographer called out for the day. Like come out, just be a photographer. And I got there. Directors hated me, cam ops, because I'm there to take stills, and they're like, you could be wherever you want. Like we're the producers, just be wherever you want. And I would stand next to the camera operators, and they would just look at me like all crazy, like, move over, like. And I'm like, dude, like how am I supposed to do my job? And I texted the producer. I'm like, hey, like. The directors don't even want me in the room. There's like such tight quarters. How do you like deal with like situations like that?
So I would say like in this industry, like a lot of people have egos, of course, any place that you deal with. One thing that I feel like I learned from my grandpa is like, if you want to be like a real like boss leader, someone that like someone looks up to, it's like you have to be level-headed at all times. So like if like don't get me wrong, like an assistant director has like came up to me and like screamed at me in the middle of like shooting, but like how I look at it is like, all right, like you just screamed at me, but we still have the problem that you're screaming about to solve. Like I'm gonna tell you the solution, but
Yeah.
like let's think of a better way to solve it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But like in your case, like 100%. Like some people just, especially like if it's like a 1-day job, 3-day job, it's like they feel like if they're like in a director or any type of position where they're like calling the shots, some people really want to like show that you're in charge. Like I've been on a set one time, and it was like a promo for a reality show, and like one of the grips or art department people like showed up to the morning meeting like 3 seconds late, or, like literally like a couple minutes late, if anything, and they like immediately in front of everyone they were like, you can just go home. Yeah. And that's when I was just like, you know, it's like, what are you trying to prove? It's like, who wants to like,
Yeah.
you know, do you just want everyone to be afraid of you all day? But
Yeah.
like that's something that I always make sure I do, because like I always make sure that I treat everyone with the utmost respect, because I want people to trust me when there's a problem and when something's like actually going on. Like I don't want people to be afraid to approach me. I don't want people to be afraid to talk to me.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Everything.
I'm like,
Yeah.
the producer wants me to get these photos. Like they told me to come
Yeah.
here, take the photos.
Yeah,
They need it for
yeah.
assets for
And
the
like
movie.
sometimes it can happen because like someone might be so hyper focused on
Yeah.
something and so worried about their task at hand that a new face in the room is just like they just can't handle it.
And your job is just as important as the director's. Like your job is, the PA's job is just as important as yours, because you wouldn't be there. Like everyone is there to
100%.
make this happen. Even if you're taking the trash out, driving people to set, like they can't get to set without you. And like at the end of the day, like no matter, everybody's rate is different, but you're all getting paid to be there. Like no one's doing it for free. We would work with these huge name talents and they would be there for free. And we're all sitting there getting paid. Like, you know what I mean? And I remember like the first time that hit me was, it was the first time I went to the office and we were filming with Snoop Dogg an interview. And I went in there, I was just coordinating it, so I didn't really have much to do. Made sure crew set up gear and everything. But then like when we were filming, I was literally like standing 15 feet away from Snoop Dogg, and I was like, all of us are getting paid to be here and he's not.
Yeah.
Like, that's the craziest thing in the world. Also, it's important to understand what everybody does. Like I said, when I was a PA, like first starting out on Ink Master, I had no idea what anyone did besides like the PAs. So and now as a production manager, like understanding every department, the gear that they use, like the things that they like to do, like all that, it just helps you actually do your job better.
100%. I feel like the first time I was like on set, it was like overwhelming at first. I was
Yeah,
like,
it's
I was like,
scary.
damn.
It's
I was like,
super
dude, I want
intimidating.
to be the guy behind the camera knowing all the terms of shit. Like that's what I want. But it's like, well, I need to understand it's not gonna come today.
No.
And-
but like if you ask that dude like what like type of lens he's using or something like that, like bam, that's one thing that you
Exactly.
didn't know yesterday.
Dude, a question a
Yeah.
day.
Like when you're that dude on set, like even you're just it's so intimidating being on set with new people for the first time, especially when you're like the lowest one on the totem pole. But like even when you have that free time and you're just like, like I'll never forget the first time I saw someone strap into an easy rig, right? And now I own one.
Yeah.
Like, and I just remember I was like, yo, like it takes 2 people to do that, and then it takes 3 people to operate that camera. Like I was like, yo, like I want to be on a team like that. Like I want to do something like that. When I worked on Love and Hip Hop, still I was a talent driver, so still technically a PA, but so it was
Dude, people
crazy.
listening in are like, dude, what
I
happened
know,
to this
yeah,
dude
I
work
had
on?
like a wild career.
Dude, it's
but,
tough
like-
when you got so
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
you know
no,
what I
that's what
mean?
I'm trying to get
so
all the
much
good stories out, so you guys have
experience,
like good stuff to pick from. But, so
Ben.
that job, when I was a talent driver on Love and Hip Hop, it was like a 9-month job. I was on it for the whole run of the season, and like I lived in Jersey at my parents'
Yeah.
house, and like, dude, like you literally drive the talent anywhere and to set, and like, so a day would be like they give you a minivan. So I just had like it was like 2019. I had a 2019 Dodge Caravan. It was maroon for 9 months, parked at my parents' house.
No.
I would wake up in the morning. I would get in my van. I would gas it up, do whatever, get coffee. I would drive to like, I drove 2 people the most, Joe Budden and Joel Santana. So I would literally
Sick,
like
dude.
wake up, drive to their house, wait for them for like God knows how long, depending on the day.
Oh man.
They'd get in the car. Once they got in the car, like at first, dude, it was so crazy when they would get in the car because I'd be terrified. And then like you're driving like through the city, like,
Yeah.
you know, like
Probably
all, like,
mad
yeah, like
stiff,
stiff
like-
as fuck, like mad cringy. Like when they talk to you, you're like, what'd you say?
Yeah. Huh?
But
What was that?
so that's how you would start your day. And I remember like after like the first week of that, I remember like I was talking to like my brother and some of my homies. We were just chilling, and they were like, "Yo, like I can't believe that's what you're doing like all day." And then I realized like, damn, like it is crazy. Like I'm just transporting this. I'm
Yeah.
with this person, like hearing personal conversations they have, like all that stuff. And then I was like, yo, I gotta like try to talk to him one day. So Joe wasn't as friendly as Joel's was, but I remember like I love Supreme, and I know Joel's loves Supreme, and like he has a Supreme t-shirt. And one day we were both wearing Supreme sweatshirts, and he came in the car, and I was like, yo, nice sweatshirt. Like as soon as he got in the car, and he was like, yo, you too, man. And he just started talking to me. You know, he's a human being.
Yeah.
Like, and
Dude.
I wasn't being like, yo, I love you. I love your
yes.
music from when I was a kid. I was just
Dude.
like,
Biggest
like,
thing right
yeah,
there.
like, yo, like, how did you acquire that sweatshirt? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like, he has a son who was 16 years old at the time. I was like, does your son wear your clothes? Like,
Yeah.
And then, you know, he's like, yo, you got to see my basement. Like, I got a whole, whatever, like his whole shit.
Probably
his
like, I'd
whole-
love to see you.
yeah,
right
yeah.
dude.
And just that, like, literally, my day would start,
Yeah.
pick him up, get in the car, we go to set, we film all day. He
Yeah.
comes back to my car like, yo, let's go to 7-Eleven. Let's pick up like some sodas and shit.
Like,
It's
fuck
like,
yeah,
sure,
dude.
yeah, like drive him to 7-Eleven. We pick
Yeah.
up sodas. Like, oh, let's go to Barney's. I need to go shopping. Like, okay, I'll wait for you outside. Like,
Yeah.
literally,
You want me to come in with you?
But yeah,
Yeah, nah, that's a bit what you touched on. Everyone's a human being.
yeah, like, and they wanted to be treated like that for real, and that's what I like
Yeah.
realized.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've filmed too. When I started off filming the basketball players, like
Yeah.
filming Bronny, seeing LeBron walk by, Bradley Beal's right there. Like when I shot at Alvin Iverson's event, like I'm literally
Yeah.
staring at him, like with my camera in my hand, just staring at
Yeah,
him.
like,
Like,
you could touch him.
Are there
All-
any like tips? Because I've gone like fashion weeks and like met celebrities. Are there? And I was nervous at first meeting
Oh,
celebrities.
really?
Yeah. Do you have any tips on like how people like can approach celebrities or like talent in general?
Yeah, so I would say obviously like feel out the moment first, right? Because like if they're scheduled to come, you're going to be in the same room at the same time. That's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But if they come in hot in a bad mood and their posse is pissed and something from their rider, which is a fancy word for like a request of snacks and stuff they want, if like there's no vitamin water and it's Poland whatever, like, and they come in hot and they're freaking out over something like that, it's like, okay, I probably shouldn't go in the room and talk to them right now.
Yeah.
But like if they come in and like they see you setting up and like they're cool, so like I'll just like say some examples. So like Lil Baby, like arguably biggest rapper in the game, right? He came to our office late at night. There was like 12 people there. Came like super professional. Had a few friends with him. Huge armed security squad. Was legit moving like the military.
Yeah.
Came up, went right to the green room. He was like, I just need a couple minutes to get ready. So we're finishing up our final touches. Security like comes up to me and is like, yo, we're going to do a sweep of the office. Like it's a Call of Duty map or some shit. And like we have armed security that come in town all the time. And I was like, damn, like no one ever does this. Like we're in a secure office in New York City.
Yeah.
And once I saw that, I was like, yo, like this dude moves different. Like he wants the best security guard. And I remember Speedy Mormon, shout out to you, Speedy, the host
Speedy
of our
went to Cuse, right?
What?
Didn't Speedy?
Yeah, he
go
went to Cuse.
He went to Syracuse.
Yeah, he's a goat. He's for real a goat. I'll tell stories about him later. But it was right before It's Only Me was about to drop. It was the night before at like
No way.
8:30, 9 o'clock at night. Like album drops at midnight. Speedy goes in the dressing room. He's like, yo, I want to drop this tomorrow. Baby just did like 4 interviews that day that all came out same day because everyone's trying to like get this
Yeah.
out ASAP. And we're like, we want to drop it with the album. We know Speedy was going to get a good interview at him. And he's like, nah. He literally just said, nah. And then he said, I'm about to leave. And then Speedy comes back out to me and our producer, Tommy, shout out to you, Tommy. And he's like, yo, he's like, he's in a bad mood. He wants to leave. And Speedy was like, I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to like ask him when we can air this. And we agreed on like airing it at a later date. And like, he came out and gave us a good interview. And I realized like he wasn't approachable in that moment, but when he came out and I'm operating the camera that's this close to him,
Yeah.
like he's like, hey, what's your name? You know what I mean? And I'll just tell him, hey, what's up? I'm Nick. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
And like some people like that, like obviously I want to tell Lil Baby like, yo, I can't wait for your fucking album to drop tomorrow. I'm going to bump that shit like crazy. But it's like, I knew that's the only thing I could say to him. And then someone like Bobby Shmurda, for example, interviewed him right out of jail, and super approachable guy. Came in the room, introduced himself to every single person. And my homie Phil, who was also cam opping that shoot, when Phil introduced himself to Bobby, he didn't hear what his name was. And Bobby, after introducing himself to everyone, went back to Phil and was like, yo, bro, I didn't catch your name. What was your name?
No way.
And that's when I was like, okay, like, I haven't really like seen that. I've worked with a lot of big people, and like, I haven't seen that. Or if I did, it was from someone who I would expect to like treat the crew like that. Mad funny, hilarious during the interview the whole time. Had the most positive attitude. And then after the shoot, I was opping his close-up, and he comes up to me and he's like, yo, what do you think? And like, not like just bullshitting me. He was like, do you think that was good? Like, do you think like I was being weird? Like, you know what I mean? And I told him like, yo, you crushed it. Like, you know, I appreciate you, and like your outlook on life and your positivity is just like really inspiring. And, you know, like dapped me up and said like, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. And it's like having an interaction like that with someone like Bobby is like insane. Like, it's like, you never think that that's the conversation you're going to have with him. Yeah. Another situation with like someone who isn't a rapper, I guess like a month ago now, holy crap. I worked with casts that people love, and you know, they're stereotypically like difficult people, and I was a stage manager, so I had to like get them to the stage at the time they need to get to the stage. And like same thing, just like you feel it out at first. Like one girl was having issues with her dress, so it's like I'm not gonna go in her dressing room and be like, yo, how much longer for your dress? Because I know she's already having a meltdown. But then like when they tell me someone's fully ready, like knock on their door, they tell me to come in, I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm Nick. I'm the stage manager. Like, I'm gonna bring you out to stage. Like, let me know if you have any questions. And you know, reality TV people are a little more like down to earth than rappers and stuff. So like some like, you know, like someone like my mom's age, they're like, you know, like, where are you from? How are you? Like, you know, you look so nice today. So that's like, it's just like feeling out the type of person.
Are there any like specific, because it sounds like you do a bunch of different things on set, from doing PA, cam op. Is there anything in particular that you enjoy the most?
No, just being there, straight up. Like I said, I would be there for free.
Yeah.
And like anything, like to anybody, like I would straight up do any position that I knew that I could actually do a good job at. Like, I'm not gonna come in there and like fake that I'm gonna like be like something that I don't know a ton about, but like, can I hold a boom pole for 2 hours straight? Like, of course. Yeah. Like, can I plug in the XLR cable to the bottom of it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the thing is too, it's like when you're on set and you meet these people for the first time, it's like, damn, I want to talk to this dude so bad, or like ask him these questions, and like you're scared to. But like what I realized too is like, yo, these people want to talk about this stuff so bad, and
100%.
nobody wants to hear them talk about it. Like his girl doesn't want to hear him talk about microphones.
That
like,
is you're
so
preaching.
when you get someone going, like I was saying, my homie AJ about lights. Like when I used to get him going on stuff, like he would school me.
Yeah. People love nerding out about shit.
Yeah, yo, same. Like I love talking
people
about
love
cameras.
to talk about. I mean, that's why we have people on here. To,
Exactly.
like, get them to talk about what they love most.
Exactly.
Like, it's even when like you would ask someone to like, they'd be like, oh yeah, you can watch me set up the camera today. They were probably like, really, it only enhances that person's skills even more, because you're teaching someone
like, yo,
something.
you're literally doing something that they could be doing, and now they can just sit on their phone for 5 minutes. Like people appreciate that. Like straight up, like when you're working, like I said, when you're working 12-hour days and like you're 3 months into a 4-month run of a show, like everybody's burnt. So it's like those 5 minutes, it's like where you can just sit down for a second. It's like people really appreciate that kind of stuff.
Dude, that's sick. So now like you've done all this stuff.
Yeah.
Are you kind of on your own now with things?
Well, yeah. So I did get laid off from Complex through like BuzzFeed. They had one of those huge layoffs, Twitter. Yeah. So I'm back to freelancing. So I've been like I was just freelance cam upping on like a L'Oreal corporate gig this week and stuff like that. But like I said, I'll do whatever like I think that I can help. So like my homie Mark, it's for this company I used to work for, was like, we're shooting on FX9. I know you know how to use it. Like just come do it. And I'm like, for sure.
Sony guy?
I like Sony. I own a Red, but I like Sony just because it's kind of like the industry standard for the stuff that I've been working on the past couple of years.
He's the reason I got my FX3.
Really?
Remember, I was like FX6.
No, I mean,
all I
the
wanted.
6 is good, but it's just more expensive. Like, and if you're doing the stuff that you guys do, and like I know that you guys use Mad Ronins and stuff, like it's the payload and like what you can do. You could hold it in your hand too. Like you could do that with the FX6, but it's just like it's the same technology, just in a really tiny
condensed
100%.
thing. And like, yeah, that's one of the coolest things on set is like learning people's tricks. Like Love and Hip Hop, I was talking about talent driving, but like when I wasn't talent driving, when I would be on standby, I always made sure to get out of my car and be like, yo, what do you guys need help with on set? This is a mad funny story. Orlando, shout out to you. The first time I met this dude, we were on 27th and Broadway outside like this hotel. And I just pulled up out of my van. Like I said, I was on standby. So I got out of my van. I was parked right in front of his. It was like the lighting van, like a cargo van.
Yeah.
He had the side door open, like on the street side. And he got clipped by like a plumbing, not hard. Like he got that sounds dramatic, but like, yeah, he got a soft tap like by the car on the lighting van. And like, I remember like running over to him and be like, yo, bro, you good? and like, he's like, I'm about to lay here for a minute. You saw that, right? And I was like, yeah.
Gotta milk this one.
That's how I met him. But then he was an AC at the time. And like, I would always be like, yo, you need help. And like, we were really mobile on that show. Like we were going to like 3 to 5 locations a day, like in New York City, every borough. And so we had like a camera cart like that, like fully kitted, like all the cameras built on top of it, like probably like 6 C300s, and they would be like bungee corded in over the top strap, and then we'd have like lenses and a bunch of other stuff on the bottom, like in Pelican cases. And like the way our van was in the camera van, there were still seats in it because we needed to transport crew and gear in it. So like half the seats in a 15-pass van were missing. So we would have to like pick up this cart with all the gear on it and like put it in the trunk. Like it was an operation, but we had it like down to a science. And I remember they were like, yo, we're going to teach you how to do this. There's only one way to get this thing in the car and get it out. And they taught me. And then every day, as soon as I pull out the van, I'd be like, all right, let's get it. Let's go get the thing out. And then, you know, that led to be like, yo, push this up to the 55th floor.
Start unloading it now.
Yeah. But then it's like, yo, like when I was on Ink Master, right? Like everybody, like when, I don't know if you guys do this or if you're like this, like, or you are, but like when you work on a set, yo, and even though the cameras are rentals, whatever, someone else owns it, if you're operating that camera and you build it, like that is your camera. If someone would like change someone's like SDI wire, like if they had like a 90-degree one and then someone put like a cabled one,
regular one.
yeah, like people would be like, yo, who
Freak
touched
the
my
fuck
camera?
out.
And that's when I realized like, yo, like you can't. And then working on sets with unions, like, bro, like a shout out to union crew members, like yo, like those dudes, like when I was on like Project Runway and like was working with like union art department electricians and grips and shit for like the first time for like 6 to 9 months straight. Yeah. Like, yo, you can't even plug in your phone charger on set, like unless an electrician does it. Like, cause if you blow a fuse, like, they're gonna kill you. Yeah,
literally.
Like, but if they blow it, they're gonna fix it.
Drag your body out.
Yeah, no, and like, and same thing. Like, if like you need to plug in a power strip on set, it's like you can't plug it in. Like, you got to get the sparks to test it and make sure it's like safe, and like learning, just like seeing that and just being like. Not like people being like, this is my gear, don't touch it, but being like, yo, this is my job and it's very specific and these are the tools that I need to do it. Like realizing that, I was like, damn, how's Brian?
He's good, dude. He's
shooting his wedding.
He's really
that's
sick,
dude. It was funny, my brother. Like
he was like, you got to do it. Like
no, he wasn't even the case.
He's editing it.
He's like, yo, let me show you. Let me show you this company that we found. I was like, yeah, show me. And then knowing that like we're the best in New Jersey.
Yeah, yo, I saw like. I'm not like calling you out or anything, but like when you followed me on Instagram yesterday and it was like #1 video guy in New Jersey, I was like, dude, that takes huge balls to say that. But I was like, you guys are nice. Like,
nah,
head to head, put me in a room.
No, yo, straight up in what you guys are doing. There's so many different levels to this shit, right?
Exactly.
Like what you guys are doing, you are experts.
Yeah.
Like I respect the shit.
There's so many people that create in New Jersey.
Yo, there's people that literally just make vertical videos on TikTok and make way more than I do in one day.
Dude,
like
we do that all the time.
It's
crazy how it's turning into
it's insane.
More of that.
It's to put it like this. I went from working on like TV shows with crazy budgets to working on YouTube videos for a whole year.
Exactly.
And like we were putting mad money into it.
Yeah. Do you see the transition now from like TV going more like to online?
Or? Yeah, so it's crazy. They interviewed me like right before I was about to graduate college for like this one program I was in. And I remember like I said that streaming was going to be like the future of television, but I did remember mention something about YouTube, but like I felt like at that time YouTube was going to do like scripted TV shows and stuff like that. But like I never thought that like these like YouTube reality shows and like just dumb videos and like series and like would blow up. I mean, look at Mr. Beast. That dude is
He's killing
loaded,
it.
and he's made all his money. Like I always said, like YouTube money. Like
It's crazy.
he's getting that YouTube money. That shit is crazy.
And his budgets for production,
yeah,
compared to like, even
I
some TV
applied
shows.
to be a production manager for his like company, and like like their job description is crazy.
Oh.
And like I believe, like I've had to do like some crazy stuff, and like I know that would be one of those jobs where it's like being a production management. I don't know if you guys know, but it's like half consulting, budgeting, like logistics, operate. It's like literally all that.
Yeah.
So like like he could be like, yeah, so I want to like do a backflip in an airplane, and like as a production manager, I'm like, the things that I'm thinking about is like, okay, where the fuck do we get an airplane? How much? Where do we get a pilot? How much does it cost? But then like, where are we going to do this?
Yeah.
What are the permits we need to like get in this airspace? Are you allowed to film in the air, like in the town that we're
that's
in, whatever?
crazy.
And like, dude, like Oppenheimer. Did you see that they created the new Christopher Nolan movie?
Oh, yeah.
They created a
Wait.
nuclear explosion without CGI. Like the first thing I thought as a production manager is like, yo, how the hell do you transport that much like dynamite and explosion without the help of like the military? And like two, like where in the US or where in the world is going to just be like, cause you're paying bread to do something like that. But like,
Crazy.
who is going to be like, all right, this is the price to create a huge explosion in our town or our state? Or like, he might've did it in New Mexico or something, but like, that's what I like. I'm just like, yo,
That's nuts.
that's
I can't wait
crazy.
We gotta hire him to produce some of our shit, so we don't have to figure out all this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would. I got you. I do.
Oh,
I have like
100%.
a LLC. I do consulting and all that stuff
Yeah.
too. But like,
Yeah.
This year's gonna be. a
We need
big-
an ambulance. That
big
we've
year
been
for
we've been
us.
having trouble for trying to get an ambulance.
So we're
Like,
trying to shoot like I don't know if you saw. We made a commercial for media.
Oh, yo, you need to rent one?
Yeah.
Yo,
You got an ambulance plug?
yeah, I do.
All right.
Yeah.
perfect.
I'm gonna say it out loud. There's this place in Edison. Shout out to Edison, New Jersey.
Yeah.
I filmed there before. So it's like a police training center. It's right by the Raritan Convention Center.
Okay.
I'll send you the name of it.
Yeah.
But I shot a true crime recreation show there for VH1.
Oh, shit.
Bro, a police officer in the Edison Police Department. Like I'm talking to him, telling him what's good. You know, I'm the field manager. So I'm like, hey, this is how long we're gonna be here for. We're gonna whatever. Like if someone needs to come back to lock up, like here's my phone number. Like I'll give you a call. And he's like, you guys are using a cop car, right? And I'm like, yeah, like, and you know, like usually something like that, it's like they have a police officer there all day with you that like you have to pay to like whatever, operate the cop car. Dude just hands me the keys to a cop car and it's like, yo, just put him back in the cup holder when you're done.
No way.
And I'm just like, yo, I could literally like drive this thing around. Like they just left us there to
That's
film.
crazy.
Crazy.
And yeah, but they have ambulances, they have cop cars, they have everything, and they do stuff like that, so they're friendly. But I got you. But yeah, yo, that's the type of stuff I do for a living. Like one of the like just an example of like something crazy. Like I was working on this show called Returning the Favor with Mike Rowe, the dude from Dirty Jobs, and like we were just like,
talk about
like
that was on
Facebook Watch. Yeah, that was the first time I did something like I went from reality TV to digital with that show, and one I realized how much money goes into digital, and I was mind blown, and two, we would just give shit away.
Yeah.
And I remember like when it was COVID, the start of COVID, and we were doing like the virtual show, and like we had like when we needed a camera crew to be in like it was Springfield, Ohio, and someone called me up that I worked with and was like, yeah, so we want to give these two kids a basketball court. They have the land for it. I'm like, oh, sick. Like, when?
Yeah.
And it's like a Tuesday. They're like, we want to film on Friday. So I'm like, the basketball court has to be done in 48 hours. And
No
they're like,
way.
ideally. And then, you know, like, I'm like, holy shit. Like,
Yeah.
how am I going to do this in Springfield, Ohio? But then, like, you know, just resources. And I found a construction, like, you know, you start calling people straight up.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing you can do is, like, get people on the phone, not email. And just and telling them, like, you got to have a good pitch. I realize that, too. I'm not, like, a salesperson, but, like, I realize, like, if you explain something clearly and it sounds good, someone's going to be like, all right, that sounds good.
Yeah.
So what I would do, I'd be like, yo, like, I would literally lead the conversation off with, this is going to sound absolutely insane. And I was calling these construction companies and being like, do you think you can like lay down asphalt and like cement into basketball hoops? Like I'll get everything. And then this one really small company was like, yo, call this guy. They're the biggest company in Springfield, Ohio that does construction. I call him. I get on the phone with his wife. She answers the phone. Hey, I'm from Returning the Favor, this Facebook Watch show with Mike Rowe. She's like, Mike Rowe from Dirty Jobs? And I was like, yeah, exactly. And he was like, is he gonna be in Springfield, Ohio? And I was like, he's gonna be there on FaceTime, like virtually. And I told her, I was like, we need a basketball court, whatever, 2 basketball hoops, and like cement and benches and some trash cans. And they're like, you know what? Like, we'll do it for free. And I was like, yo, I told her, I was like, if you tell me anything under this number, and I want to say it was like 50 grand or 85 grand, something crazy, like something where like it was a no brainer for them to do it. She was just like, no, like, please don't worry about it. Like as long as like our company can say that we donated this and you show our logo on the show. And I was like, no, I didn't even ask. I was like, no problem. Like that's not an issue at all. I remember calling them on it. We hopped on a meeting. I was like, I got someone. And then they were like, all right, now we got to get all the stuff. And I go on like Harbor Freight or Uline, and I start calling, same thing. And I'm like, yo, I need 2 basketball goals. I need park benches. And they're like, when? I'm like, I need them overnighted. And like, you're talking like freight shipping. So it's like, you got to spend the bag on that driver to get it there and make sure it touches down. Yeah. And I remember I told the construction company that we were in the situation we were in, I was like, if you got to connect for like benches that you can cement in and stuff that would look good in like a little park, like let's do it. And again, like, yo, it takes a village. Like this construction crew, the saints that they were, I wish I remember the name of the company, but like just literally had people working overtime and they were paying the workers overtime and building our court for free with their materials that also cost them money. Like, and yeah, it was crazy.
Damn, professional problem solver.
No, it's straight up. Like that's kind of what I do for a living. Yeah. Dude. Like when there's a problem on set and like people are coming up to you, you have to go diffuse the situation. It's like, you know, like sometimes I'm like, fuck, like I don't know what I'm going to say to calm this person down. But then like I always remember like you just got to be level headed, like understand why they're pissed off and like try to just tell them exactly what they want to hear.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. You want to hop into rapid?
Dude, let's throw them some rapid fire.
Right,
you want to start it off?
Yeah. We're going to hit you with some rapid fire questions.
God.
This is going to be random.
It's going to be random.
Question. Did you have a question?
Oh, yeah. Craziest thing you've seen on a rider?
That's a really good question. I would say just nothing like out of the ordinary, like that wouldn't be like a snack, a drink, or a household item. But I remember when I did work on TRL, one of my first like real TV jobs, Steve Aoki was coming in, and he requested like a specific number of like, I forget what brand, like Fiji waters. Like he was like, he wanted 12 Fiji waters, like 6 bananas, 6. And that's when I was like, damn, like either he has OCD or he's just trying to see like what you can get away with. And yo, like if you're a good talent, you know that some people will bend over backwards for you. So like now, like looking back at it, I was like, is he just doing this so that like if he comes and there's not 6 bananas, he can like freak out? That. And then I remember I was filming with like 2 Chainz in the summer, and he asked for like 6 iPhone cables and bricks, but they needed to be Apple brand, and like 6 of those, like each set is like $80. So it's just like we just blew a bag on iPhone chargers. But yeah, that was probably stuff like that.
Damn.
Favorite shot you've gotten?
Oh, shout out to Jaleel.
I knew it.
So like didn't really, just weird SB connection. Like I heard his music because Justice is Shield, if you know him.
I do.
He went to college with Jaleel like freshman year.
No way.
And I remember
Where's Jaleel from?
He's from Maryland, but I forget the country that his parents live in.
You know what Jaleel is?
Skateboarder?
No, he's a rapper. He's good.
Dude, very. How would you highest energy I've ever seen in
no, most relaxed dude, like straight up. Shout out to you, Jaleel. Like, so when we filmed that day, we were doing a day in the life, and I had no idea what I was getting into. Like I said, Justice is Shield reposted his song. I heard it like 5 years before we filmed with him. Was like, knew he was kind of like a screamo type, like hyper trap, whatever you want to call it, rapper. Knew that he was notorious for like ripping his shirt in half and doing backflips on TikTok, right? So like going into the day, we're like, damn, like we don't know what we're gonna get. So we meet him at sound check at this bar in Brooklyn called Baby's All Right, and he's playing his music.
Ben knows babies, all right.
I used to live in Bushwick.
Oh, word. Yeah, it's fire spot. We pull up there, whatever, go inside, meet up with his team. But then these dudes, they were all super young, like same age as me, like 25, 26. So I'm like, all right, like this is either going to be like, they're going to be really professional or like they're going to have no idea what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Get in, they're already doing sound check. Music sounds great. He sounds exactly how he sounds on thing. I'm like, all right, like he's really talented. Baby's All Right. It's small as hell, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Dro Kenji, who's also a rapper that I fucked with, was on before Jaleel. So this is like concert time. Sorry that I skipped all the good part of the day, but long story short,
That's all
Jaleel's
good.
the fucking man, most respectful dude, most quiet dude, extremely positive, and then when he needs to bring the energy, like he fucking brings the energy. It was packed. It was completely sold out.
Mm-hmm.
And my boy Brendan, the DP, shout out to you, Brendan. He was on this rail. You know, like the bar in the back? And like, you know how there's like that railing up there?
Yeah.
So he was like set up with the FS7 on that railing, like a sniper, like zooming in on the stage. And then I was on the stage with the Ronin. I was just waiting. So I was like, I'm going to keep my camera powered off for Joe Kenji. I'm just going to like sit on the stage and vibe. But then I was like, damn, like I'm on the stage at a concert. Like this is sick. I never really done this before. So then that was cool. It was like getting me hyped up for when Jaleel came out. So then when Jaleel came out, everybody knew he was going to like rip his shirt off and do a backflip or something crazy. And like his DJ Versus and his boy Will were like straight up trying to warn me like, yo, it's going to get like crazy in here when he comes out. Like you better be ready.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, I'm powered up. I'm like waiting for him. And then they start playing like Playboy Cardi, Yeet, just like songs that make like teenagers go crazy. And like crowd is going nuts. They're not even playing Jaleel's music yet. And then I forget the name of the song, but it's like the song he always walks out to, but it has like a big build up. So they start playing like that. Well, his DJ is like, open up the pit. And like, you know, it's so small in there. And they opened it up huge. They made like a huge space. I don't know how the fuck they did it.
I was gonna say open up what?
Yeah. And like they start playing the intro to the song, like 30 seconds go by. Everyone's like, yo, where's Jaleel? And then all of a sudden, like he like fucking kicks through the door, like runs up these stairs. I'm like, oh my God, like locked in at this point.
It.
And then he like stomps like this, like to the middle of the stage, and he just rips his tank top in half, just turns around and does a backflip right in the middle of the pit. And as soon as he stomped, I started trailing behind him because I was like, yo, I don't even care if I bone Brendan and Phil's shot. I was like, I need to get this. And then I got him like doing a backflip, and then I ran to the edge of the stage and put the Ronin like right up to him, and then you just see like a whole group of people, like he has the mic in his hand like this and just swarm him.
That's crazy.
And like again, it's not like it was like Drake that I got that shot with, but like the way it came out and the way my boy colored it and like stabilized it and everything, like it just like it captured his personality so well and the moment and like the energy, and like you see him like screaming, and I was like in that moment I was like, holy shit, like that was so sick. They're going to use this for like the intro of the video, and that's exactly what they did. Again, a crazy shot, not that it's like crazy cinematic or anything like that, but like being like 15 feet away from Seth Rogen, like in his office, like a place that no one gets to go to but see online all the time. And like you guys know, like because I feel like my brother asks me all the time, he's always like, dude, like how aren't you like freaking out? But like, yo, in that moment, like you are so laser focused and just locked in.
Get a job done.
And I remember like when Seth came in the room, crazy dude, like same thing, mad respect for Seth Rogen. He pulls up with his squad, he's driving. So I'm like, that's sick. Like this dude is literally driving his own squad with his own homies to his spot, and they're about to do work. I was like, that's the dream.
Yeah.
Then this man opens his trunk and he has like his pottery wheel. Like, you know, he has like mad people with him, like 4 people with him. So you expect them to just like pick it up and be like, oh, I got you. He like grabs it and it's like, no, I'll carry it. And, like carries it into the house, and like you hear him like laugh when he opens the door, and everyone's like, you know, we all like look around. We're like, oh my God. And then he comes through the doorway, and same thing. Most people who are pretty professional, like they understand what the crew is doing. So they like, he was like, hey, what's up? You're like, dude, funniest part about that, he came up to me, right, when he was introducing himself to everybody. He was like, hey man, I'm Seth. I wanted to just be like, dude, I know. Like, I know your name is Seth. And I was like, what's up, man? I'm Nick. It's really nice to work with you. I remember, like, that was a crazy day for me in my personal life, too, that day, the Seth Rogen shoot. But, like, I just remember, like, when, like, getting in the car after and, like, with all the gear and, like, returning it to the office. And then, like, when I got back to my hotel and I, like, sat down, I was like, yo, like, that was crazy. Like, it was, like, not only that it was crazy that it happened, but just, like, the fact that, like me and like Orlando and Omar had never worked together, right? And like even my complex crew that was there, like Anthony Allred, the talent manager, bro, shout out to you. You are the fucking GOAT. Like had never worked with these dudes before, but like, you know, we're all on the same page where it's like, damn, like, yo, this is a big moment professionally for all of us. And like, it was crazy to be like,
full circle.
Yo, all that shit, like taking out that trash, like getting clipped by that car, like moving gear in the snow, like being in Times Square at 4 o'clock in the morning in negative 10-degree weather. It's like, shit, like it was worth it. It got us here.
Damn.
I feel like
that's why like, that was a cool
I feel like that's
shot.
That's a great way to respond to that question. Your favorite shot, like a shot that like made,
no,
not necessarily the shot itself, but like what led
the
to
moment,
that shot.
Yo, like straight, like again, shout out to my boy Omar and like, went through some shit, like for real, and like he's a mad good dude, and like. I remember, just really thinking, like, damn, like, all the shit that we've been through got us to this moment. And it was, like, such a cool feeling. And
it all happens for a reason.
Yeah, it's like, yo, like, you're in the same, like, Lil Baby, Seth Rogen, like, all these people. It's like, yo, like, I'm meant to be here. Like, I'm getting paid to be here. That's like, it was like
that's huge.
Not like a powerful feeling, but just like,
it's
like, just like, damn, like, I went from cutting grass to doing this shit. Like, that's crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's this morning. Like, I'm cutting up footage from New York Red Bulls and stuff.
And you're like,
making
bro,
a video
before this,
for
I
us.
was like doing some whatever job, like. Or
Oh,
even
dude,
like,
my first video was just garbage.
But
it's always
matter.
full. It always feels full circle. Like honestly, like coming in here every day, like sitting in my office, like.
That's what, you have your own office.
That is like a shout out to my people.
Yeah, but even think about like you two, right? Like, I know everybody felt this way. Like even right now in my life, like I feel so confused, right? And like it's a good and bad thing, but then like I know that like once this confusing time in my life is over, I'm gonna like look back on it and just be like, yo, like the reason why you were confused is because you knew that there was more out there, like more to do, like you want more out of yourself.
The unknown.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I'm sure like one of my like biggest goals in like ever since I realized it was obtainable was like, yo, so like starting with like just small, like when I was like a landscaper, all I wanted to do was like be on set, right? Like that was my goal. And then when I was on set, it was like, all right, what I want to be more than a PA. And then after that, it's like, well, then what? And then like at that point, I was like working on Top Chef, like I said, as an associate field coordinator, and like, yo, we get nominated for an Emmy. So then it's like, yo, I want to win a fucking Emmy. And then it's like, yo, I'm working on a show that is nominated for an Emmy right now. Yeah, and like I said, the confusing point in my life, I remember like I busted my ass on that show on Project Runway, and they called me into the office, the senior production manager and the line producer, and they were like, yo, we want you to come to LA for Top Chef. We're starting in like 2 weeks. Or at this time, it was 2 weeks after we stopped filming Runway, but at this time it was like 4 weeks away. So I was like, damn, like I got to think about this shit. And like when you're working like that, like I had some money saved up, whatever, because I was working so much I couldn't, like I wasn't spending any money. And I remember I like went to IHOP with my mom, and I like told her that they offered me this job, but I had to like put myself up and go out there and like I was trying to explain to her that it was like this huge opportunity. And like at this point in my career, like how my parents looked at my career is like basically like I was like an Uber driver for talent and like doing miscellaneous tasks on like literally just doing like chores on set. So they're like, yo, you're going to spend all the money you just made to go out there to like go do chores on set. And I'm trying to tell them like, no, like I'm going to be like a different position. Like I'm going to make a good rate. Like I'm going to do all this shit. I remember like in the IHOP, my mom like ripped me, like was like telling me like it was a terrible idea. It wasn't like, you know, and like it made me like, I was like crying and shit. I was mad upset. And then like, I like thought about how much money I had. I had like, I want to say like $4,400 or $4,600 to my name from working on that show. And then like, it was like $3,200 up front for the Airbnb and $1,000 to get my car out there. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll have $400 to my name. I'll go out there and I'll do this shit. Like, yeah, something I realized that is like I had my wings the whole time. It was like up for me to just go and like, you know, cause like so much shit could have went wrong, but like,
Dude,
I wasn't thinking about that. I was
Yeah.
just like, yo, I gotta do this shit. And then when I got out there, I like made a promise to myself, like, yo, I'd never been to California before either. Like,
Damn.
it was the most motivational thing ever. Like, some place, I remember when I was in college, like, I was always like, damn, like, I want to go see the Hollywood sign. I want to go like to California, work on some shit. And then when I was out there, I was like, I gotta like vow to myself, I'm gonna go mad hard. And I remember when I got my car, it was like a day after being there. I remember sitting in the driver's seat of the same car I have outside right now and just being like, yo, I'm sitting in my car that I used to drive to high school. I'm in California, and in 2 days, I'm about to drive this thing to Top Chef to like go chase my dreams. And I remember that's what made me realize like there's no turning back. Like, this is what I'm going to
dude.
That was like the I'm married to the game moment. That's when I was like, I'll do anything for this, like anything for my crew, anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, that's what on the show, that's what I realized. Like, bro, I did anything for the crew, like anything for any person on that show. And like, it was crazy. So the show was going to end in like 3 weeks. So I was like, damn, I'm going to go back to that was my mindset. I'm going to go back to New Jersey soon. Hopefully I find some work in New York again. And like, just went to the Whole Foods shoot, whole crew busted their ass, got back, like everything, I thought everything went great. And then when I got back, like get back to my desk area, pop open my laptop, there's like mad people standing around me. I'm like, oh shit. Like someone from Whole Foods called and like complained. And that's what I said out loud. I was like, yo, did someone from Whole Foods call and complain? Someone was just like, check your email. And I was like, oh shit. Like this is gonna be like weird if someone from Whole Foods emailed me like after I was just there. And then like in like the subject was like, congratulations, like Top Chef finale in Italy. And it was my boarding pass, and I was like, yo.
That's sick.
Nice.
And yeah, like in that, like, dude, it was so emotional. Like I was like, damn, like I was like, yo, like they fuck with me enough to be like, we need to fly your ass out there, put you in a hotel. And that's when I was like, I'm doing this. Like I was like, holy shit, like on Top Chef.
Yeah. I mean, I've told this story on here before, but like I remember directing probably like my third music video and working with someone who's worked with big directors like, that did Netflix shows. And I'm just like, the music video prior to that, all I did was provide equipment. And I was just standing there watching someone who really didn't even know how to use my equipment.
Like,
and I wasn't really allowed to say anything. Like, I just had to sit there and take it in. I'm like, oh, fuck this. Like, next time this isn't happening. And then the next one was like, you know, it's not like I just broke out of my shell, but the person is like, dude, you got something in your head right now that you need to tell me.
Get out,
I was like, tell me. Because he's like, I hired you because I know you have the ideas in there that I want. And he's like, you're going to bring the best out of me. Yeah. So he's like, understand, no one can hear you when the music video is going on. Like, music is laid over. Yeah. Talk to me while I'm doing this. Like, have the confidence in yourself. Like, even when we're here, like, say, like, whether we bring someone new on or, like, we're at a new shoot working with different people, like, having that confidence of, like, whether I've been here before, haven't been here before, I'm going to just use all the knowledge that I've gained.
Knowing, like I said before, like, I think the biggest thing for me was, like, realizing, like, yo, it's not luck why I'm standing here with these people. Like, straight up, it's like they need me. Like I said, like, again, like, when you're a PA, anything, like, you have, like, everybody has such a specific job. Like, whether it's taking out the trash or, like, scheduling shit, like, they need you to do it. Like,
yeah, dude.
And it's crazy. And, yeah, bro.
That's going to be, like, the best message out of all this, I feel like, for people is realizing, like,
no,
every
I've got
piece.
more messages I want to get.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Like,
with everyone, we can have everyone, like, we could sit here for so long.
Bro, I'm sure, like, this is so sick for you guys. Like,
no, 100%.
I know, like, we do, like, we're obviously in, like, the same field, so it's, like, it's cool because we, like, you understand. That's what's cool.
Yeah.
Like, yo, talking about work sucks because, like, no one
empathizes the way.
Bro, like, no one understands when you're like, yo, we were waiting for talent to show up for 4 hours and, like, now we worked a 16-hour day. It's like, everyone's like, who the fuck, like, what does that even mean?
He just went to a shoot, showed up.
I literally went and knocked on the person's door and they're like, who the fuck are you? And I'm like, I was saying, like,
you have a shoot
these people like modeled your kitchen, right? Yeah, I'm here to capture it for them and create something out of it. And they're like, yeah, nah, you got the wrong person. I'm like, no, like, this is your address.
Yeah.
I was like, they did your kitchen, right? He's like, yeah, they did. I was like, so I'm supposed to be here. He's like, yeah, nah, you're not coming in here today. I was like, I just drove an hour out the way. He's like, yeah, I got nothing for you.
Yeah, yo, like a story like that, like with Joel Santana. Shout out to you, Joels. I know you're not listening to this, but
Dude, who knows?
when he
Benny, send this shit in his DMs, please.
when I was his driver, he was on probation. I remember one time. So he has to like check in with his probation officer. You're
Yeah.
allowed to like go to work. He's working.
Yeah.
So he when he had to go to green screen, like do interviews, he
Mhm.
would have to like check in with his PO. And I remember like I picked him up from his crib. He got in the car, whatever.
Yeah.
Issue like our conversation with his PO on the phone. Gets in the car. We drive to set an hour away, and then we get to the green screen location. He goes upstairs, and the talent producer is like, "Yo, he doesn't have his jewelry." And like green screen, it's like all about continuity. So he has to wear the same thing every time he's there. So he had to go. His chains were at home. So they're like, "Yo, you got to go home and get your chains." And like, I remember we drove home.
No, you're good.
Like to his crib, and then when we got to his crib, I was waiting there, and I was like, "This is weird." Like he literally had to go get his chains, and like we're cool at this point. Like he wasn't gonna like waste my time. I felt at least, and he's like, "I'll be right back." That's what he told me. He goes in the house. It's like 30 minutes pass by. I'm like, "All right, what the fuck's going on?" Like maybe he's taking a shit or something. And then like an hour goes by. I call the production manager. I'm like, "Yo, like he's not coming out. Like, should I knock on the door?" And they were like, no, we're trying to handle this situation really quick. And they didn't tell me what was going on. And then like 20 minutes later, he calls me back and he's like, his parole officer doesn't believe us. Like he doesn't understand why he had to go back immediately, and now he needs to immediately come back. He was like, he already left the state. Because like we crossed state lines. So like we already did it one time for the day. They were like, they're not going to let him do it like a whole nother round trip. Well, we did it twice because we did a round trip.
Yeah.
So he's like, we're not going to let him do like 4 trips in one day. And then I was like, holy shit, like what do I do? And then they're like, just drive back to set. And then like I drive back to set another hour, and then they're like, well, now green screen's over, we have no one else to interview, you can just go home. So it's like I feel you, like it sucks, and like no one understands that unless
it's
it like
happen. I mean, and that's just like
the shit happens.
Like, that's
shit
that's the
happens.
least of it right there. Like that's like the
the
least
thing
of the
that I always
issues,
try
like,
to remember
driving.
is like a good learning point. I feel like that I learned that I try to like do with my crew is like, if the other person isn't ready on time or they're on time, I want to make sure that we are. I want to make sure we're ready 15 minutes early.
That's us in a nutshell right
there.
there.
And like prepared for anything. And then like just having the right people with the right mindset and the right amount of time like goes a long way.
Amen.
This guy.
Like I'm like you three, like I'm telling you right now, like you can do the work of like 15 people. And like that's why I feel like I'm so valuable on set, because like there's no coordinators that I know besides my homie Phil that works at Complex. Shout out to you, Phil. That can camera operate, like be a real camera operator. And like I'm talking like build the camera, set it up, run through the settings, like make sure you're dialed in with the DP, and then like shoot it and stay in focus and get the movements and like not fuck up.
Stay ready so you don't gotta get ready.
And then like like the more you do, the more you learn, and the more like bro, like you said, like you're a marketing dude, like that's your major, like no
you gotta
people
learn it.
do anything business related. Like, but if you learn it, like, and then you have that other skill, it's like now you have 2 really good skills.
Hell
Skill stacking.
Like even Google, like
I'm gonna cut you off. Do you have to slide?
Yeah, the slide.
You can go. I can wrap this up.
You sure?
yeah, we'll just chop it up.
You want to chop it up? Ben, you want to hop in?
Yeah, yo, hop in.
All right, we're switching it out, guys.
That's how you gotta look at it.
Benny finally made it on.
I know, dude.
Here he is.
But yeah, yo, I'm proud of you, bro. For real.
Dude, I'm proud of you, dude. Just sitting here listening to it all.
I used to say this like to people all the time, and like this is truly how I feel. Like, bro, like I don't care. Like if you're my homie for real, or not even my homie, if you're just someone I know, right?
Dude.
And like you follow your dreams, like no matter what it is. Like if you told me right now that you wanted to do like a trash removal business and you wanted to be the biggest garbage man in the world, and I could tell that you were real passionate about it and that was your dream, I'm the type of person that's like, bro, like let's fucking get it. Like you need an extra pair of hands. Like I'm putting on the gloves and loading trash.
I mean, you're
like,
not like,
yo, yeah, great to meet you. 6 sweatshirt.
Make sure Ben makes me proud.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, bro, like
I mean, dude, that's like, Tay, Swank, like all of them. Like the new year was coming around.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, I really hadn't been posting or like promoting Total too much because it's been spending a lot of time here.
Yeah, doing
more so like planning for how I want to execute.
Yeah,
because like you can just start doing shit, but if there's no like goal to execute,
you can't just like mindlessly do.
Yeah,
something. You gotta have a plan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you can have a bunch
That's
of
my biggest
creative
advice.
content ideas.
Yeah, you gotta have a plan.
But now I'm like, okay, like I need to like start being more interactive. Like I like MediaX marketing is like my baby now.
Yeah.
With Joe, but Toto is also like
that's
what
you,
I started.
bro.
The
That's
fact
your
that he
brand.
allows me to still do that, still promote it.
Trust me, like I have my own LLC and like I got it, and I was like the past 2 years I've had it, I like the contracts that I was under, I can't like compete with my own companies.
Yeah.
So I can't rent my own gear. So like now that's something that I want to put a lot of time into is my own shit and
100%.
my own and like bro, like, that's what I realized too is like you guys should realize this too. Like I didn't understand this until I worked at Complex. Like the interests we have, the things that you like, other people are so different, right? Like what I realized from working at Complex is like when people would ask me for my advice and then like post something related to it or like ask me something and generate a question about it and then like create that content, not just me, anybody.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like we're telling millions of people what is cool and like we don't look at it as what's cool. It's just like, this is the shit I like. And when I worked at Complex, that's when I realized that. I'm like, damn, like people like literally think everything that I like I must be the coolest person in the world. But then like another person could be like, yo, you're a fucking loser because they don't like any of that stuff.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And then like, but that's what I realized. Like, as long as you're yourself, that's what's gonna like.
Oh yeah, I learned that a long time ago. Like like the biggest thing, well, like what I noticed with some people is, and obviously like there's gonna be situations where you have to be a certain way in front of certain people.
Yeah.
But it's like, at least for me, like when someone's hiring me or hiring us, they're not just hiring us because of like what we can produce for them, but like who we are as people, what we have to offer. So like if we just go on set and we're just like, we just tighten up and we're just completely different people, like that's not us. You're not gonna get the best thing. Like
everything from start to finish.
Yes,
it's all about how you talk with them. It's about how you work with them.
Biggest thing at Complex I was so grateful for, like, look at the shirt I'm wearing. Like I could wear whatever I wanted to work. And like someone be like, yo, it's a dope shirt. Those are dope shoes. Like something where like you'd wear something ridiculous. Like someone would be like, yo, dude, you look like your friends would be like, bro, you look crazy right now. If you wore that there and you're like, this is why I fuck with, this is my style. Like everyone would be like, bro, that's sick. Like
I think that was the biggest thing for me to overcome, like coming from where we come from. It's like you're surrounded by.
We're from a place where people are like mad judgmental and
very
like,
judgmental.
And people also come from so many different backgrounds where we live, which is biggest blessing I realized in my life, because when I went to college, it made me realize like how sheltered some people were.
Oh, dude.
Like we had so much opportunity to experience like, first of all, like just different cultures.
100%.
Like every single one of my friend comes from a different like background. And then like every time you go to their house, it's like you eat something new, you try something new, you learn about their religion. Like
I say that all the time. People like,
and like people only hang out with like the same people their whole life. And that's when I was like, damn, like I have friends that I still hang out with today that I met in like ninth grade.
Dude. I was always in a mindset of like, nah, these are the ones that ride with me. Like I can't even imagine being cool like that with anyone else. And then I'm working here, and then day in and day out, like Joe is the person I see the most every single day of my life.
Shout out my boy Alex Giakis. Like, dude, we met on set on Project Runway, and he is one of my best friends to this day.
Yeah, dude.
And like, another thing that you were saying, like, this is good advice for you. I know we're really like pretty much the same age. Like what Thomas was saying. If you came into a set as a day player and you're like all stiff and tighten up and being a fucking hardo and not talking to anyone, like you're there for 12 hours. Like who the fuck is going to call you back to chill? Like not chill with you, but work with you and get to spend another 12 hours with you. Like if you're busting your ass and then the downtime, you're like, yo, 6 shoes. And you try, like yesterday.
You want to make sure you mesh with
like yesterday I was like or 2 days ago I was on a shoot with this dude. Like live technician, like runs cables, does audio shit. He just had a Supreme sweatshirt on. Like when we were wrapping out, like we're both busting our ass, like packing up gear. But it's like we're talking about Supreme while we're doing it. And then at the end, he's like, yo, let me get your contact info for the next one. And like, it's like stuff like that.
Well, like that was the first thing I noticed when you walked in was your shoes. I make shoe contact before eye contact. It's a fault of mine, but like.
Dude, there was days where I like went to set and I was like wearing a fit that I was like, I don't really think it fits this interview we're about to do today. And like, I got to sit there and field these questions. And I don't want them to think like, who the fuck is this? But then like they walk in and you're like, oh dude, I like that. I'm like, oh shit, you like this? And I was like, oh, awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, and bro, it just goes along with, like I said, like being yourself.
Yeah. And like biggest thing with like being on set is whoever you're working with, like you got to understand, like, they might not, like, maybe people you work with do it often, but, like, say we're working with people that might not be on camera often, and things might feel like as soon as, boom, that light comes on, they're like, holy fuck, that thing's got to be how much, I can't believe, like, just make me look good. And then, like, communication, like, that's my biggest thing. As soon as, like, someone comes, hey, how you doing? My name's Thomas.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm going to be handling this aspect of things today. He's going to be doing that. We're going to be doing that. Like, I make it so simple. I dumb it down.
Handled.
Whether I'm filming a wedding or I'm doing a big commercial shoot, it's like, this is what we need from you. Don't think of it any more than that.
Yeah, or any
We'll
less.
handle everything else. Just, I'm here to, if it's an interview, we're here to have a conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm going to be asking you maybe some formal questions, but, like, answer it as a real person. Like, doing, like, inside the hustle. Like you said, you want to do something, go do it.
Yeah,
I wanted to film UFC fighters. I wanted to do document.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I wanted to document. Like, that's my favorite type of stuff. And it was, like, just, it's okay to ask, hey, can I come film for a day?
Yeah.
And then, like, you have a conversation with that UFC fighter. Yeah, this is where I got the interest from. Like, oh, dude, we love that guy's work. I know you're going to do a good job with this because your mind is already there. And then it's just like...
Yo, like that Jaleel story I was telling, like, that's how it was with him, bro. We, like, when we linked for that day in the life, like, it was mad organic. And, like, like I said, his crew is mad young, mad professional. And, like, I was like, damn, like, you guys have a dream. Like, and you're chasing that shit.
100%. That's, like, being around, like, the fighters. It's, like, my first thought going in was, like, I was pretty tight because I'm, like, I mean, these guys can fucking kill somebody if they really wanted to.
Kill you if you mess
and,
up
like,
a shot. Yeah.
I feel like I don't want to be too close to they're like, dude, take your shoes off, take your socks off, come on the mat, point that camera right in our face. We don't give a fuck.
It's crazy.
And what I realized is that each one of these guys is their own business. They want me to be filming them.
You're only helping them. Yeah.
Exactly. So, like, now it's like, I haven't done one in a little bit. I'm planning out my new one with he's not, I don't even give a fuck if anyone's well-known or not. You have a good story I can tell. So I'm doing one on a Muay Thai fighter. I'm excited because Muay Thai fighters are different. They have so much in their background.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm excited. The first story this dude told me, he's like, yeah, I'll explain myself. He's like, one time I was playing J.R. Smith in basketball in high school, and he was like, the first half, he didn't really do much. And at the end of the half, like, I pushed him to assert my dominance. He's like, he came out and dunked on me in the second half. I was like, dude, that's going to be sick to talk about him. Somehow infuse it in with your Muay Thai career. But I love doing it, like, up to, like, the person's fight because it's, like, every fight is each person's biggest fight they're going to have. And, like, my goal was always, like, at the time, it was, like, how am I going to film Conor inside of a stadium?
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, maybe now, like, you can only imagine my heartbreak when I watched, like, Conor lose to, like, Dustin, like, get knocked out. And I was like, oh, no, did my dream just go out the door right there?
Career over?
And then, like, you're seeing the person that you idolize, like...
Yo, I have a story about that. Like, I wanted to tell you. I forgot about
definitely.
it. So, like, bro, like, when I was in college, like, I would say, like I like music a lot, obviously. I think music's inspiring, I should say.
Yeah.
I think anything that's good makes you feel something. And I think music, it's easy to feel.
I first wanted to get into music, and then I realized I couldn't do the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It was like, what can I enjoy the behind the scenes? I was like, then
music.
I realized I liked videos.
When
and
I was
like,
on the lawnmower, the first thing I saw myself doing was, like, being on stage with Uzi at, like, fucking Rolling Loud, like, operating a Steadicam. Like, that's where, like, I saw myself.
My mentor was always being on, like, the producer board in the studio.
Yeah.
And, like, yo, listen to this one. And, like, everyone just goes fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But then I'm realizing, like, I'm just thinking about the victory. I'm not thinking about
what it takes
the dirt.
to get there. Yeah.
So, like, when I found this, it was like, okay, I'm gonna enjoy the dirt. Plus, I'm gonna pick whatever the fuck song I want to, for the most part, like, when you can. But yeah, back to
but yo, so, like, when I was in college, high school, I was, like, an OG Migos fan. I feel like I started bumping them in, like, 2012. And I remember, like, dude, just, like, as weird as it sounds, like, just having, like, good memories with my homies from college, like, listening to their music, and then, like listening to their music at, like, different, like, points in my life. This summer, I got to work with Offset, and that was one of the first time. Like, so usually, like, when I work with a famous person, I don't care. I literally don't care.
Yeah.
Like, the most thing I'll do is, like when we worked with Lil Baby, like, I'll bump his music before. Like, Vince Staples, like, worked with him, wasn't a huge fan of him, but, like, bumped his music before. Just to, like, you know, familiarize. In case, like, they're like, do you fuck with my music? You know what I mean? But then like Offset, I was like, dude, like I fucking love this guy. Like a lot of people I love, but like, you know, I'm more like
that genuinely
I want to
home.
like do a good job. Yeah. And I was like, like this is someone who like when I was on the lawnmower, I would be like, damn, like you're 5 feet away from him right now. And I remember like he got there, bro, crazy. Like just I respect like people's hustle, right? Like this guy's mad busy. He came from Paris on a jet from the Hollywood Burbank Airport to set we were in Pacific Palisades. Filming the show Hiking with Rappers with Complex. He pulls up, mad professional, really professional team. I'm just like, dude, like this is him. Like this is cool. Like this is crazy. I remember like I went up to his driver of his vehicle, was like, bro, you need anything? You good? Chopped it up with him, and then I was like, damn, like I can't wait to see what this dude is like when we work. So he had like a really sick outfit on. He had like these fucking sick ass vintage Balenciaga like cargo pants, and they looked like the Gucci logo, but they were bees.
Yeah.
And I just remember like I saw those, and I was like, damn, like this dude dresses so like I was just like, damn, like he's so fucking cool. Like I always thought he was so cool, but like he's right there, he's so fucking cool. And then I remember just being like, had in that moment like where I was like, shit, like this is one of those people, you know. And then I remember like I never asked people for pictures. It's like so unprofessional. Yeah. But then like same like what I was trying to answer Joey's question before, like opportunity, like at the end of the shoot he needed to leave, and like I said, I was chopping up with his driver, so I was cool with him. So I was talking to his driver, like asking where they were going for the rest of the day and like all that stuff, and then like literally standing outside of the car that he's about to get in, and his like honey wagon, like his trailer is right there. And I remember like one of the PAs, this girl was like, can I take a picture? And he was mad pumped. And he was like, yeah. And then when we were on the trail, when he was doing his interview, I heard him say how like when people meet him that idolize him, he wants to be the best. Like he wants to be that person that they think he is.
Yeah.
And I remember in that moment, I was like, damn, like I wonder what he would do if I asked him for a picture. So I was like, you know what, fuck it. I was like,
fuck it.
I'm never gonna like maybe never work with this dude again. And then I was just like, yo, bro, can we take a picture? And he was going in. He already took pictures with a couple other people. Yeah. And he turned around. He was on the way up the stairs. And I was like, can I get a picture? I started walking towards him. He looks at me. He goes, you serious, bro? And I said, yeah, bro. I fucking love you. I love your music. And he was like, for sure. Like, you know, he was literally like, he gave me that, like, are you serious, bro? Like, bro, are you serious? You're a grown ass man. Like, you want a picture with me? And then I was just like, no, I'm not doing this for like clout. Like, I want to send this to my brothers. Like, I want to have this memory of working with you.
It's about 100%. Approaching the right way.
Yeah. And like, bro, he put his shoulder, like his arm on my shoulder and shit. And like, we took like 4 pictures and dapped me up. And he was like, he literally said, he was like, yo, my bad, man. He's like, I get it.
It's tough being like a room with people who like,
bro, it's scary. And I remember,
not just you idolize, but like like people glow. Like when I was like in a room and it was Baron Davis, Allen Iverson, Lance Stevenson,
and everyone's trying to talk to them.
And so like what it was like Allen Iverson puts on an All-American game.
Yeah.
So it was like
the
top 20 players in the country, 1 to 20, and they do a dinner where it's basically like you get to chop it up with these legends for the night. And me, I'm sitting there like I have a fuck ton of questions, and I'm not even in these kids' shoes. Yeah. Like all these kids, like they all of them right now are making millions of dollars. Yeah. Like unbelievable. Like it's crazy to think that like I was filming these kids 2 years ago. Their net worth just skyrockets just off of them doing what they love to do. I always looked at like what I do in terms of like basketball was always the easiest way for me to put it. These kids played since they were 2 years old.
Yeah, like they're going to love it.
Some it's going to take them to, if they're blessed, to 19 years old to get the paycheck. Yeah. But that's still
17 years of your life.
Exactly. And like, I look at it the same way, like whether how far I feel like I am now or where I was, like there's always more. There's always more to do, bro, more to accomplish.
That just made me think of like 2 quick things. Like I was saying, shout out to my boss, Matt, from Complex. Like, he was the one who made me realize there was always more. Like, there was a time at Complex where I was really busting my ass, and it really affected my like, straight up. Like, me and my girl basically broke up because I was putting so much time into my work. And, like, bro, I remember, like, I had this conversation. I pulled my boss, Matt, aside. I told him, like, I was, you know, dealing with some shit. And he's a grown man. He's 10 years older than I am. He has 4 kids. Yeah. Always, like, really admired him for that. I remember just telling him like, yo, I feel so confused right now in my life. I'm working so hard. I feel like I kept telling him like, I feel like I'm going in circles, right? And he was the one who told me, he was like, if you know that there's, you know, like if I'm like I told him straight up, like, bro, and this is so true. I literally have like nightmares of like being on the Emmy stage and then like getting my thing and not knowing what to say. And I remember I told him that, and he was like, bro, that's because you can see yourself there.
Yep.
And I was like, dude, you're right. Like I could, like, hopefully one day I could. And he like in that moment he made me realize, and we talked about this, but like, yo, like I said on that moment on Top Chef when I spent all the money I had to get out there my first day, and my boy told me like he's got my back right or wrong. And that's when I realized like I was married. I was like, it was either I go hard for the rest of my life and I'm gonna make a career out of this, or like they're gonna send me home halfway through this trip. So what Matt made me realize, or what I said to Matt out loud after realizing this, like, bro, I fucking love this shit. Like, I'm so I lost my girl for this shit.
Yep.
Like, I would do anything for this shit. It made me realize this is my life's work. That I'm giving it my all because this is my life's work. What I said to Matt was, I said, bro, like, we go so hard, and I realize this is my life's work because in 100 years from now, if YouTube is still around and you type in 360 with DJ Khaled, like, you're going to get our clip of him saying God did. Like, and like, you know, it like shit like that. It's just like,
yeah.
And then like it would frustrate me because other people wouldn't take it as seriously or want to go as hard or like use new equipment or change our strategy to like make the show better. And like, I'm like yelling like, yo, like, come on. Like, but it's like, yo, not everyone has that shit vision in it how you do. Dude. And like when you meet people that do, like, you got to really appreciate them. And Matt, fucking shout out to you, Matt. You made me like really realize a lot of shit about myself. That like, if you're one of those people, bro, like, no one can take that shit away from you. And like, that's what I like, you guys too. Like, I know you have it in you. And like, yo, if you like, straight up, I'm just telling you this because when I was your age, I felt like it was like once the job was over or whatever, it was the end of the world and nothing else was going to come from like it, right? Dude. But like, bro, if as long as you just don't give up and just go hard, then like shit will work out.
Yeah, dude. You gotta like,
and that's how I feel. No, like straight, like the show saying that went on in my personal life. Like within like 4 days, my girl left me. Like, she was legit about to move in, just left me out of nowhere. 2 days later, like, got fired out of nowhere via email from Complex. Yeah. But like the only like, bro, and like obviously, like, I've been through other shit in my life that's worse than that, obviously. But like, it makes me realize, like, one, like, shit can be so much worse, and it is for so many other people. And two, like, it's about like what am I gonna do?
So in this camera, just tell people what you're up to, where they can find you, and hit the people with kind of a little message. Leave them off with something.
So my name is Nick Bianco, at Nick Bianco on Instagram. I'm the owner of Bianco's Production and Set Supplies, LLC. I am also a TV professional that specializes in production management, camera operating, and producing. Based in New York, living in Jersey City. And a quote that I want to leave everyone with is a quote that my grandpa always said that I didn't really understand until I was older, but it's the truth. A short pencil is better than a long memory. So write that shit down.
Dude. Episode 13, Nick Bianco.
Thank you, guys.
We appreciate
Thanks for having me. Shout out to you for filling in for
Yes, sir.
My fill in.